All right. On today's episode, we have the divine origin of the Japanese islands. The Kojiki. Are you ready to
Hi.
do the Kojiki?
Hi. I
Hi.
am ready.
Hi. Yeah, I know hi too. Hi. Hi. Let's go. All right. After that new cool intro, let's get right into it.
I love it.
Many
love it
who
too.
visit Japan share a similar impression.
Fuji-san.
This country seems to hold a strange and quiet harmony. Orderly
Yes.
streets, people who value quietness. Yet when festival days arrive, the streets fill with chants and the sound of drums, and laughter echoes deep into the night.
It's
Between the
true.
towers of modern cities, forests,
I
and
love that you know that because I won't go too quick off this, but I think all of us Americans are in love with Japan, and that's what you have seen and done what I visualized.
Yeah. It's so different. And to me, I lived there for a while at university for a little while, and it was just amazing. I liked it before. I was interested in it when I got there, and I lived there for a little bit. I fell in love with it. I absolutely am fascinated with Japan.
How
It's
long-
just so different from
How long were you
the
there?
States. I was there for about 4 months, 3.5, 4
Oh,
months.
That's a
It's
long
like a-
time.
Yeah,
that's a
yeah. It was a good. It was a
chunk
good
of
long
time.
time.
vermilion torii
Mm.
gates appear as if they have always belonged there. Many Japanese people say
That's
they
so
have no
true, too.
religion, and yet they visit shrines and offer prayers. For them, Shinto is less a matter of belief and more a natural part of everyday life. In Japan, there exists an idea known as Yaoyorozu no Kami. Kami, spiritual presences believed to dwell in all things, feared,
Oh yeah.
revered, and enshrined by the people, in the mountains, in the rivers, in the wind. Countless kami are said to dwell throughout this world. But where did this unique way of seeing the world come from? To search for its origins, we travel back over 1,300 years into the world of the Kojiki.
All right, the Kojiki. Here they come. I have
There it is.
learned a lot from Japanese video games. They have taught me, I didn't realize it, but a ton about religion, lore, and everything else from like
Right?
a very young age. Japanese influences have been a big part of my life, and I'm actually thankful for it. I'm thankful for what they have given me as a country and what they have produced.
You know, you're right. It's same for me too. Video games. And these initial entry and video games and those early anime, like
Yeah,
that I didn't know were anime at the time, like
Sure.
Speed Racer, and there's another one that was on when I was very young
Well,
that I remember was a French-Japanese one.
Then there
It's
was
funny how
the
in
80s
there.
stuff, right? Which is probably even more, it's way more famous, which is like North Star, Akira.
Yes.
You know, that's like when it
Akira,
was really like starting to do
um,
its thing. Dragon Ball Z.
was it DBZ, right? I forgot the name of it now. Oh man. Yeah, but there were so many famous ones.
At
Yeah.
the beginning of this story stood a man
Robotech.
with an
Oh,
extraordinary
yeah, Robotech was dope.
memory.
Yeah.
His name was Hieda no Are. It is said he memorized the ancient myths and histories passed down through many generations.
Wow.
His recitations were recorded by the scholar O no Yasumaro. By command of the emperor, these spoken traditions were finally written down. In the year 712 CE,
All right, 712. So I'm a big time guy,
712.
calendar guy, so I always like to like take a moment to know where I'm at. So this is quite some time ago.
Yeah.
This is almost two.
Yep.
Oh, how long ago is this? It's less than 2,000 years, but it's like up there, right?
Yeah. It's up there. About just to
700.
I'll round it out, like about 1,300 years ago,
13
give or take.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is easily, it's
I
like
got that right. I got that
hundreds
right.
of generations ago.
Yeah. It's
Japan's
yeah.
oldest surviving book of mythology, the Kojiki, was compiled. Within its pages was written the story of this country's beginning and the path that would one day lead to the sun goddess.
Oh yes. Amaterasu.
this is something I've wanted to do for a while, just because I just love Japan, and I'm just glad we can sit here and
Yeah.
watch it and learn about it. And you've actually been there, so I'm excited.
Nice.
The story
This is a
begins
good
in
story,
complete
too.
silence. At first, the world was a swirling chaos. Then heaven and earth began to separate. The light and pure elements rose upward, forming the heavenly realm where the gods would dwell, Takamagahara. The heavier and darker elements sank below, becoming the earth. In that heavenly realm, the first god came into being. Ame no Minakanushi. Next came
Oh, wow.
Takami Musubi and Kami Musubi.
They usually don't mention that. Yeah.
Really? So you know your stuff. I mean, obviously you do. What is it that you
Yeah.
know?
So that first deity that they mentioned, the first name,
Mhm.
was like is considered something like the source of all things.
Gotcha.
Just as a side note too, I found it absolutely fascinating how the Japanese creation story and the one we talk about in the West, they begin almost exactly the same way.
Most of
In the
them
beginning,
do.
there was nothing,
Yeah.
and then suddenly there was light,
There
and the
was
light
light.
was separated from the darkness, and heaven from earth, and sky and land and sea and
Gotcha.
all that. And the world was it's just so interesting how it's all the same story.
It
Yeah,
really is. And
basically.
I have a lot more thumbnails about religion. I hope we do a lot more. But we already know a lot about fundamentally that that's true. And I didn't know that for a
Yeah.
large part of my life. And I hope most religious people understand. I hope they know that. Like, if you just believe in your religion so much that you don't see how much they relate to each other early on, which is like the oldest books, you should. You should. We all should do
Yeah.
it out of that source, because that seems to be like the first part that a lot of
Yeah.
people agree on. Many cultures
Mhm.
for thousands of years.
Then, from the drifting jellyfish-like earth below, 2 more gods
go.
appeared. These 5 gods are known as the Kotoa Matsukami, the distinguished heavenly gods. All of them were Hitorigami, gods who existed alone. They were neither male nor female, but beings that embodied both aspects.
I would think that something was more advanced than we are. I would think gender isn't like the big defining trope. You know, I would think if you're a light being, or this is light and energy and whatever is a super advanced is, yeah, I think gender is probably not a thing.
Yeah, it's almost like it's these deities, these beings. I guess they're seen as beyond that, or like was mentioned, they kind of almost embody both traits,
Sure.
let's say, or both
'Cause it's like-
energies or whatnot. Yeah.
I guess if you're all, then you're everything, and that's a part of
Right,
everything.
that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good
After
way to say it.
appearing, they quietly concealed themselves.
Oh, right.
More than 300 deities appear in the Kojiki. Even for Japanese readers, many of their names are difficult, so we will focus.
Even for Japanese people, their names are difficult. Wow.
Yeah.
Whoa.
This is where I think most people know that, or if they've heard the story, this is where it begins for most, I think, people who would know of the Kojiki. This part here.
I am impressed that you know that, because I see it
Yeah,
as
yeah.
as just, all. I don't have any shape on it, right? That's cool that you have a. You're already kind of in there. It's most things we do on here. I don't surprise you very often. You're very knowledgeable.
Only on the
Still a lot
major
of fun.
figures. After this moment, Amenamina Kanushi never appears again in the story. The name means the one who governs the center of the universe. This deity is understood as representing the origin of existence.
Leaving behind no form to describe, no commands, and no legends. These gods quietly withdrew into the background of the world.
This reflects a distinctive feature of Japanese mythology. The gods are not always rulers who govern the world with intention. Instead, they often appear as symbols of the forces that shape the world itself.
After this, more gods continued to appear. 2 more solitary gods came into being, and then, for the first time, male and female gods emerged as pairs. There were
There's something really cool about something that is in fresh white clothing that is pure and unsoiled.
It's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, because I keep looking on Amazon for some garments that are like that. You see, I'm wearing white right now, right? Like I'm wearing white.
That's right.
I try.
Yes,
I have the
that's
black.
right.
I'm doing the yin and yang. I want like a flowing
go.
thing I could wear in my house. And one time, imagine if I wore that out. People would be like, "Damn, you look great."
Yeah,
You
yeah.
look great.
I want to be there when you do, because I think that would be fantastic.
I want to come
witness.
to Philadelphia and dress very holy. Imagine that. How
Like a
cool would that
holy-
be?
Yeah,
How cool.
that would be
'Cause
fantastic.
I'm kind of
man.
on my way. Look, I got the black here. I got the white. I got the black.
You do. You've got a good.
black,
You got a
white.
good match going on there.
This
Black
was
and white. I
this
like
was
that.
intentional.
Mm-hmm.
I bought
Well
a couple
done.
shirts like this who have different colors. But anyway, all I'm trying to say is I love in Japanese culture, not that I digress, is when the purity and then the flowingness that Japan just seems to have with the wind and like the divine wind. It's like it's
Yes.
beautiful. It's utterly
It really
stunning.
is.
There is a game you should play on PlayStation 5. It's Ghost
Okay.
of Tsushima, and it's really quite
Okay.
wonderful. It's got violence in it, but it has Japan so beautifully with the winds and the
Oh,
way you ride the
nice.
horse
I
and
like
like
that.
the flowers. Anyway,
Yeah.
For
sorry
5
for digressing. I need to buy like the full garment and come see you. I won't wear it to your house, but I'll wear it
I'm
later.
with you. There you go. Nice.
People probably be really nice to me. I wonder how they treat me.
divine couples.
Like that. Yeah, like that. I wanna walk
There you
around
go.
like that.
Yeah, like that flowing. Yeah.
That'd be so cool.
The final pair among them would become important figures, the gods who would give birth to the Japanese islands,
Oh yes.
Mm.
Here we go.
Izanagi and Izanami.
Izanagi.
Izanagi and Izanami. Yes, these are names. I remember them.
The story of
Yeah.
Japan truly begins with these two gods.
I love the
They-
clouds and the white and all that. It's wonderful.
Yeah,
They were
right.
given the task of shaping and governing the formless earth. The heavenly gods created a bridge between heaven and earth, the Amino Ukihashi, the floating bridge of heaven.
Whoa.
Interesting.
Standing upon it, the two gods looked down. Below them stretched a
This video had very low views and somebody made AI, like they would consider it AI slop. I kind of really like this video.
Yeah. Actually, I like this video. Yeah, this is a kind of AI slop I actually like. This
Yeah.
particular video is,
Yeah, I'm gonna thumbs
I
up
think,
this
done
guy.
very well.
It's only had
Yeah.
148 views.
vast
Wow.
ocean and a soft, drifting land floating like clouds. Izanagi and Izanami took in their hands a divine spear known as the Ame
Yes.
no Nuboko. With it, they stirred the soft earth below. When the spear was lifted, dropped,
It's so sensationalized though, right? Like some human was so powerful they could just dip the rod in the water
Yeah.
and make islands. It becomes such a like lure and and
it's very cool in a way. Like they
Yeah.
stirred the formless earth, and then it's almost like, and it's very visual too. The whatever dropped off the spear at the end, these droplets became, I think, what we now know as Japan. Yeah, it's just kind
But
of
it's like when they go
Yeah.
that far, I can kind of tell it's
Mhm.
a fairy tale, and it's probably isn't true. But it seems like with these type of stories, all of them, there's partial truth that gets so embellished. I think just because people
Yeah.
like entertainment, is it really like literally true that this guy did this? This god, this omnipotent, all thing.
Right. I have my. I'll be flat. I certainly have my doubts.
Yeah.
No doubt about that.
Yeah,
But I think the power of the story, it's memorable because of the imagery.
that's so
It's
true.
something I'll remember, and I could retell it. Just imagining, it's easy to imagine, and
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
And since
And
I guess
plus,
this is the best way this guy
if you're gonna-
explained how this happened,
If you're going to retell a story to generations, I think the story will become more entertaining, right?
Yeah,
And that's
good point.
and there's
Like a
so
game
many
of telephone, right?
there's so many variants of it. You have the Greek, you have there's so many cultures that tell a lot of the same story, and I love it. I love all of this, but like part of me's down with like some of it. I'm like, that makes total sense, and then some of the rest of it, I'm like, oh, this is like, it seems like theater almost, but it's so like
Yeah.
metaphorical, so sensationalized. It's
Yeah. Right.
religion's just like that. It's so confusing. Everything about the phenomenon of us and everything is really hard to put your fingers on, because people have
I think
and
that's
people try
why,
and
yeah.
they do.
I think it's why they have the stories become these grandiose. Like I'm even thinking the Persian creation stories, or
Yeah.
the Japanese one, any of them really.
India is
Become these
wild ride.
grand, like, oh yeah, India's very
The
interesting.
blue
'cause
people, the blue
like,
gods.
that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have this whole pantheon
Oh
of.
yeah.
It's just it gets so like vivid and it's imaginative, and it's kind of easy to remember once you hear it if you're interested in that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Um, I really don't believe that it literally happened the way it's described, no matter
Yeah.
which culture's describing it. But it does say a lot about the culture too, describing it when you hear the story. And you hear, oh, I can see how that culture over time
Yeah.
developed.
Starts to get
and how
defined
those
by
beliefs.
it.
It's just so interesting because the way they define how the world came
Yeah.
to be and how they came to be, and
I feel like
or we came to be.
I try to keep some of this knowledge in my head about these religions, and then some people ask me about this podcast, and the stuff we cover in this is so deep. I can barely remember topics that we get into because there's such a
I know.
slice
I
of
have a hard time with that, too.
esoteric. It's right. That's weird. And I make these thumbnails, and someone's
Yeah.
like, if I was to
Right?
say the last 15 episodes, it's like, damn, I can't even do it. And I'm just equating this to like
Yeah.
religion, how it's like you can only keep so much of it in there, and how much of it can you repeat to somebody, you know?
Yeah, it's true. It's hard to. I even have that trouble too. Many people have asked me about what I'm doing every week, and I'll try to explain it to them. And sometimes I get that interest. I will always get an interested look. Like
Yeah.
you usually get an interested. They're interested. Oh, that's interesting. But there's almost this confusion, and I'm gonna look at myself and say it's because I'm having a hard time explaining
Me too.
what we talk about, and I
Yeah.
think that's on me more
Yeah.
than on them, right? So yeah, it's
But like truthfully,
It's,
like I just said, if I, like the past 20 episodes, I couldn't even tell you. I could tell you a couple, but I don't know what order they're in. They're just too massive of
that's right.
information and us like really in there. But anyway, I say all this because religion, it reminds me of that same thing. It reminds me like how it has to be sensationalized. Otherwise you would lose it. How do you carry it on? That's the only way.
You're absolutely right. Yeah, it's this is why we do what we do in
Yeah.
culture, you could say. And this was our, I like to kind of say it was our first and worst attempt at science. It was just, this is how the world came to be. I mean, no one was there to see it, but these are great, as far as we know, these are great stories though that convey a lot of coded wisdom. So I like to
Yeah,
think.
coded
And,
wisdom. Excellent.
yeah.
Well said. Yeah, I just
So
wanted
cool.
to say all that out loud. And part of the show for me is just the fact that I can look at something and say out loud and you can hear it. And I mean, it's also silly. Yeah, it's a podcast, but my podcast is like different than other ones, I would say. It's like an esoteric slice of like the largest pieces of cake you can get, that are
There you go.
similar
Yeah.
and kind of the same, but they're all like, I still to this day, when there's nothing to learn, I'm like, dude, everything is to learn.
Fell from its
Everything
tip.
is, yeah.
Everything.
Those drops
That's
gathered
all it is. It's just endless amounts of information.
together and
Mhm.
solidified. This became Onogoro Island, the first land to clearly take form in Japanese mythology. Descending to this island, the two gods built a great pillar connecting heaven and earth and constructed a dwelling.
It's almost like the Tower of Babel. It sounds like the Tower of Babel, building something up
Yeah,
so
this is-
high that you reach the sky.
This is interesting. Yeah.
There, they performed a marriage ritual. Izanagi walked around the pillar from the left, while Izanami walked from the right. When they met,
The fact that that is in the story, right? That tells you it's such a great story because they even say
Very
what
specific. Yeah.
directions they walk.
Right.
Nami spoke
Yeah.
first. What a magnificent
spoke
man you
first.
are. What a
All right.
beautiful woman you are. Izanagi
All
replied.
right.
I love that there's desire in here, right? It's like there's a
Yeah,
romance. I love it.
Mhm.
And their
A little
vows were
romance.
sealed.
Yeah.
But the first child they bore was Hiruko. He could not stand on his own feet.
Interesting.
With sorrow, the two gods placed the child in a small boat made of reeds and set him adrift upon the sea.
Look at the boat of reeds.
Their
right?
next creation
Heard that
was
one.
an incomplete island, Awashima. This too was not counted among their children and was sent drifting away upon the ocean. After these failures, the two gods sought guidance from the heavenly gods. Through divination, they discovered the cause. The mistake had been that the woman spoke first during the ritual. So the ceremony was performed again.
Oh.
This time, Izanagi spoke first, "What a beautiful woman you are." And the ritual succeeded. From there,
The man had to speak first.
That is crazy. I did not know that.
The woman spoke first, and there was an error. Ooh, that's like a real common thing to vilify
wow,
a
what
woman.
is happening
in
there,
religion.
right? Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, let's
Union,
let's
the
think about
islands of
that one.
Japan.
Because the culture I live in is like completely opposite from this. Like in many of them, it's so. It's a couple years ago, 10 years ago, 6. It flipped.
Born. Awaji, Shikoku, Kyushu,
It doesn't seem like a man's world in America.
and finally Honshu. One after another, the lands took form.
Shoes, the biggest one.
Soon,
That
the
was
two
last.
gods gave birth not only to islands, but to many important gods as well.
Ah,
The
yes.
sea god, Owatatsumi. The mountain god, Oyamatsumi. And the grain goddess, Ogetsuhime.
Oh, she's probably very popular. The grain, that's the food goddess.
Yes.
Right there.
I think, I already like her.
Rivers, winds, forests, and trees,
Yes.
the gods of nature were born one after another. And the world became rich with life.
The story of Haruko and Awashima reflects an important idea in Japanese mythology, the concept of order. In ancient society,
The concept of
right.
order, and they still are so
I see.
orderly. And
Yeah.
I long to live with people who are so balanced and have so much order.
rituals and marriage
Because that's the one thing here at America I've always disliked growing up and being raised here is so much disorder. I like order.
marriages followed strict sequences, and this order was considered essential to maintain the stability of the world. In this myth, a
That's
mistake in
interesting.
the ritual order results in an imperfect birth. When the correct order is followed, the land is created.
Wait, the correct order is the man speaks first. First he speaks, then she speaks.
It makes you want, at least in that
Wow.
specific ritual. Yeah.
Interesting.
Oh boy, it makes you think, right?
Wow, that is
isn't
such a
wild?
top
Yeah.
layer level to put that kind of thing because in Adam and Eve, there's a lot of it put on Eve. Everything's put on Eve. Eve screwed up.
You know, that is a good point too. That's a great point to bring up. But a lot it's like almost like the woman is the one who's seen as quote making the mistake
Inferior.
in
Yeah,
theory, right?
making the
Oh,
mistake.
she made the mistake, or,
Stupid.
and Eve tempted the man. Now I would
With
say that he still
knowledge.
chose to eat the apple,
Right.
But it so to speak. But like it's just interesting how that,
I would have
it's a
never
similar.
have thought
That's so
that
weird,
learning
man.
about this that's that because you said in the beginning they don't talk about one like that part those gods as much as the other stuff the other part, right? So those are the two gods from like the beginning or the three orbs or something, the parents of those other gods.
Yeah.
And it's weird that that's what caused it didn't cause a problem, but it made that one child like he couldn't walk or something.
Yeah, it was interesting. And what I thought was also interesting about that too, and where we heard the baby being set off on a boat of reeds.
Yeah.
In the case of Moses, the Moses story.
Oh,
supposedly
that's
that
so
was
true.
the mother couldn't take care of him. So she placed him in a boat of reeds,
Mhm.
floated down, and then ended up in the Egyptian court, at one point. But yeah, it's just so funny how that
Stayed. Right? So it tells you it's part
that
of this
story sits around. Yeah.
Those stories are connected, a lot of them. I mean, this was
That's
700
so crazy,
something. The
man.
Bible, I guess, was older than that, I suppose. 700 is rather newer. It's not even predating.
It's Bible. Those stories, some of them, they're pretty old too.
Certainly,
they're very old.
the Jewish, the Kabbalah is like a far older story. So that would be like Muhammad and Abraham and, the much older guys.
Yeah, like Abraham, Isaac,
Jesus,
Jacob, Ishmael, right?
Ishmael,
Those
correct.
characters.
Ishmael.
Yeah.
Yep, that's another. Xerxes, all that.
And then you get into like, names that I'm forgetting now.
Sure. Yeah. I think we did pretty good.
Under pressure.
Later traditions
Yeah, I
tell
think
that
that was good, though.
Haruko and Awashima drifted to distant shores and survived. Over
Oh, thank
time,
goodness,
they
okay.
came to be worshipped as gods. Haruko
Nice.
became known as
So they turned out
Abisu,
okay.
a beloved god of prosperity and good fortune.
All right. He's kind of like the fat
Okay.
Buddha. He looked a
Made
little
it.
bit like the fat Buddha.
Yeah, he did.
Kind
He
of what I
made it.
got.
Yeah, that's nice.
Prosperity
Yeah,
and all.
like
Perhaps that's who that is. I don't know. Is it the Buddha or is it him? He's prosperity. He's chubby. He's sitting.
Haruko became known as
I
Abisu,
don't know what I'm talking about.
a beloved god of prosperity and good fortune. Awashima came to be revered as a deity associated with women's health, safe childbirth, and fertility.
Ah, safe childbirth. Okay.
Oh, that's right.
Thus, the
Yeah,
formless earth
I've heard that
began with
name.
a single
Okay.
island, and soon countless gods would fill the world. But within this flourishing world, the first death was yet to come.
Oh wow. So there's death.
Oh yeah.
Interesting. So they have a long story too, just like the Greeks and the
Yeah.
Romans.
That they have.
you
Yes.
know?
It's
Well, that
true.
was cool. That was cool. Anything you want to add to that, or?
Just that, if anyone's interested, yeah, like you can follow through. You learn the origin of the sun goddess and why there are seasons. That's a fun one.
Sure.
And then eventually, in at least Japanese legend, the first emperor of the Japan, in current imperial family too, the current emperor as well, is a descendant of the sun goddess. They
Yes.
say. So there's a
Yes.
so they can trace that line. I think it's the oldest, historically speaking, it's the oldest continuous dynasty
Ooh.
still on the throne in a country. And if you go back into the legend, it gets even older. So the mists of time.
Unbelievable.
It's kind of
I
wild.
know I watched that show, Ancient Aliens, and okay, so I'll keep this brief. So World War II is when I was introduced to Japan. Our country, America, hated the Japs. They were very derogatory to them, and they actually kicked a lot of the great Japanese people out of our country. And I don't know how and in what way I love Japan. I respect them. I respect everything. I really do. And Germany. These two countries came together, and I want to learn how that happened, because if they were successful, I believe in time, what they would have invented would have been remarkable. People can get into the whatever of what they did, but those two countries working together would be phenomenal. They must do now, But just recently, the president, maybe 80 some years ago, before World War II, whoever ran Japan would say openly that they are a descendant of God. They would say like, we are sky people. And just not that long ago, the president, whoever runs it, whatever you call him, they stopped saying it. They used to say it like 60 years ago. And they were saying it up until always then that they were sky people from like aliens. Like they would actually say that.
Right.
But just
'Cause
recently,
right now,
the head stopped saying it like 30 years ago.
yeah, the current emperor, going back to I think 2, 3, at the end of the Second World War, then the Japanese Constitution came written, like I want to say 1947. Someone can error check me on this, but anyway, I think it was 47. In 1947, the emperor would be solely the symbol of the state and the unity of the Japanese people.
Wow.
So, and from that, I mean, I'm kind of simplifying it by a lot.
Of course,
from that point
you have
forward,
to.
at least officially,
Yeah.
right? There's none of this divine right to rule or any of that. It's like you're just a symbol of the nation. The legend is still there, though, of course. But yeah, might be why some of the emphasis on the state Shinto emphasis on this is a god king of sorts, sort of like drifted into the background for some Japanese. There's still some who really believe it, though.
Wow.
Of course, there's
Wow.
who are there's like nationalists and such.
Wow.
But, yeah. It's pretty wild.
That is that's a heck of a thing to think, but that's the way it was for a very long time. So people might still, they might still say it and think it. They just don't say it. In public when they're at the G16 or whatever that thing is, where the countries
right.
I wish,
like the G20 meetings or G7.
just follow me on this. Like, imagine some like Japanese guy comes to power, he gets very popular in Japan again, and he goes back with that. That's like his thing. He's like, I'm the god. Well, you were explaining, right? And then he was like a Trump figure where he was like bigger than life. And he says like, we are the people of the just to say what they always used
Yeah,
to say,
right.
and then get the popularity back, and then like come forward like that. That'd be wild.
It's
Wild.
wild. Well, some are concerned. I don't know if she's actually said it, but the current prime minister of Japan, who's actually kind of runs the day-to-day government
Yeah.
of the country,
Yeah.
there are some who say she and some of her predecessors were, they didn't exactly say like this is God on earth or anything, but like
That there's-
maybe we're skirting the edges of there's some who say this, I'm not sure now, but skirting the edges of that, like maybe like the rising nationalism, and then there's that trepidation of, oh no, if this goes too far, we have pretty recent memory of what happened. We don't want that again, kind of thing. Yeah. So
But-
it's funny you mention that. Yeah.
It's inevitably has happened. It will happen. It does
Mhm.
happen. Like if you look how feudal
does.
Japan was for so long,
does.
like it's
Yeah.
just when they go into survival mode, Japan, they can.
Oh yeah.
They sure can.
That's right. That's right.
But
they're pretty,
I have a lot of love
ruthless.
for the Japanese
mom.
people, the Japanese culture. They
Me
have
too.
done nothing but give me so much entertainment and knowledge and intelligence and just fun. I don't know. Like even talking about Japanese stuff with other American people, we get all happy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
are-
It's funny because perspectives change based on the time you live, right? And I got the wonderful chance to live there for a while, and my image of it is just so, no, it's not perfect, of course, but it's just it brings me such joy.
you got to
think
smell
about
the
it.
air, you got to see the
Yeah.
people, you got to eat the food,
And
you got to sleep there.
wonderful food. I love
their
the food.
is amazing.
People are fantastic. The culture is endlessly
It's so
fascinating.
beautiful, isn't it?
It's a very pretty place.
Let
Beautiful
me
place.
ask you a
It's
quick
just
question.
nice.
You've been to
Sure.
Germany, which is the people are very different,
Oh,
but the country's
yes.
very beautiful. Now,
Yes.
the beauty of Germany compared to Japan, what is like the similarity? It's probably the trees, right? The woods. The
Yeah, I
water.
would say yes. The mountains, the mountains, the trees, like forests,
Yeah.
and I would say the water. Those are great similarities because when I got to spend time with some other friends in Bavaria, and I remember walking through the small town, and I swear it looks like a scene from The Sound of Music. I know that was
Yeah.
Austria, but
Yeah.
it really was. I'm looking around, and I see the homes and the flowers,
Yeah.
and just
The
little
flowers.
creek with the little bridge you could walk over, and
Yeah.
I'm just like, this is like
It's kind of
exactly the stereotypical image of Germany.
it's kind of boring. I've seen it, like it's beautiful, but like it's a lot.
exactly.
It's a lot in every
it's a lot.
direction, and you're like,
Mhm.
this is nice, but like if you don't want to be bored, I guess you could get tired of it, but
You
it's
could,
quite
you could.
beautiful.
Yeah, it's really pretty to look at. It's really just a nice, idyllic, quiet place, but perhaps a little too quiet for me. I mean,
Yeah.
if I lived there, it might be a different story.
So Japan
But
was
it
probably more
fun to look.
action packed, right? Like the way they build out their cities is different.
Yeah, so like Japan, like in a city, so the countryside looks like, but in a city, and I lived kind of in the countryside. So when I
Yeah.
went to Tokyo or Kyoto, or other cities, it was like being in a giant, futuristic anime pinball machine.
Wow.
I loved it. The neon, it was
Wow.
action. It felt so safe, like for
Oh,
the
it's
most part,
what I love the most about it.
and it felt so. It was a city, so of course there's people everywhere, so there's that kind of chaos of sorts. But there felt like there was an order to things too.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a way to do things. There's a way to stand in line for the bus or train. There's a way to, people would forgive me for, I was the outsider, the foreigner. Right?
Yeah, sure.
So if I made a mistake, as long as
I-
I was polite, which I was. But
I
it
feel
was
this is how I
glorious.
really feel. Whenever I think of Japan, the way it operates, it makes me mad at America, and it makes me very annoyed with the people in this place who can't have the decency on trains to keep it clean, to not hurt
thank
people and
you.
kill people, to all the aggression and the disrespect around here over fast
Oh
food.
my goodness.
It is absolutely
Yes.
disgusting. And the people in
It's-
America, the youth,
yes.
and especially many different cultures here, they're horrible. They're disrespectful and they're nasty. And I love how much in Japan they take care of their older people. There's people care. There's something different in the air. There's a safety in your city. You can walk in your city on a Friday night and have a great time. And most likely nobody's going to come up to you, rob you, or say something crazy to you.
Thank you.
And America
you.
is pathetic for that. And it's a shame. We have great things. We have great cities. but our infrastructure and our like that, it's horrible. There's a danger to it. It's too gritty. It's just horrible. It's cool, but it's
Yeah.
dangerous. And I love that in
Yes.
Japan, the reality is, I know when you're Japanese, you're supposed to be very polite. And some people say it's a little weird, but as a foreigner, I love it. It's a beautiful thing
Yeah.
to see that people can actually coexist and not hurt each other. You know, there's the
In the
Yakuza,
interest
but
of
even that's different.
Yeah, in the interest of time, I mean, I could talk for hours
Yeah,
and rail
but
about
you
how
felt it.
our cities
You
are.
felt it.
Yeah,
I don't even know.
I-
I'm just talking. You actually
you were
literally were
absolutely
able
right
to
though with this.
experience that. And I sometimes I dream at night. I watch videos of Japan, and it's like walkthroughs of the city. I've watched it for like hours.
Oh, those are
And
great.
I
Yeah, those are
imagine
really
myself being there, and I always get this
Mhm.
thought in my head where I'm like, I wish I could walk around in our major cities and be as open and safe as them.
Cool. I know.
And they get my
I do
utter
too.
respect. They get my
They
utter
really do.
respect.
One of my parents watched a documentary about it. It was Singapore. Singapore was a different country, of course, but
Yeah.
similar idea. And she was remarking like, she says, I know. She would tell me, I know you've talked about it when you were there too, and in Japan. I know
How'd it
you've talked
feel?
about it, and yeah, how it feels and
Yeah.
what it looks like.
Yeah.
And he says, and she said, I believe you, but it's when I saw the documentary I realized
Yeah.
that comrade. Yeah, she calls her son comrade.
That's right.
You were there, and.
Is it true? Did you feel it?
And it's
Yeah.
true. And I
Yeah.
said, see, this is why I said I'm not like I don't want to do that. I told you so. But I said, and you see like why I get so upset
Yeah.
when I see like disrespect.
Yeah. A
or
lot of
someone
disrespect.
throwing their trash out a bus
Oh,
window
constantly.
with no regard to, at least in the States here in our cities. We have a lot of positives in our culture too. Don't get me wrong, but
Yeah. We're
certainly,
aggressive. We're
but
dirty. We're violent.
there's
It's
just
there.
this other side of it that
It's
just makes me
horrible.
crazy.
It's like
Yeah,
America has its pants around its ankles. Like they're lewd. We're lewd. We're lewd people. We're a lewd culture. And some people are more lewd than others, but different, but it's disgusting. It's disgusting. And in America, you can't call out who is actually like got their pants around their ankles. Otherwise, like you're a piece of garbage and you'll get canceled. It's so stupid. And it has to break at some point in America. Decency must return.
All right, I remember that. I say this because a friend of mine in South Korea, he brought this up to me. Remember that you mentioned the pants around the ankles, and I'm laughing because remember that like American Idol like contestant, and his whole song was, pants on the ground. You're acting like a fool with your pants on the ground. It was the most ridiculous like nonsense song, but it became something of a meme for a while, and that's why I mean it's a shame.
If America,
Look, stylists.
Yeah.
Yeah.
if America was ever on fire, like say the power went out for a month and it was all burning,
Yeah.
there'd be people in this country who would be having a very good time while it happened.
I always wondered about that too, right?
They
Yeah.
would.
Yeah,
And I feel like in Japan,
remember,
they would be orderly and they would wait till the catastrophe was over and nothing would really be broken or destroyed and we would be in cinders. That's how I think
we
our
actually
cultures
have
are.
proof of that too. The Kobe earthquake, and I think it was 1993. I wasn't there for that, thank goodness. But I remember our media were there and reporting like there's no looting, there was no robbing, there was almost no nonsense really. People were incredibly patient.
Yep.
Their homes destroyed. The earthquake, because earthquakes are common there, and there people are, and they're just doing what they can. They're helping one another out for the most part. And I remember watching this. And this was kind of my first, exposure to like real Japan, like outside video games and anime and things like that. And I was like, oh man, I'm like, this is unbelievable. Like here, I felt like, and we were just getting to what the LA riots and stuff.
Oh,
Here,
yeah.
I felt like there would be this, not everybody. There's a lot of Americans are very generous. I would
Yes.
say that. We are very generous, but the killer is there's also kind of the other side of that coin where there's also
Definitely.
the potential for the
And-
looting and the anger
And
the
it'll
violence
happen.
and the
It'll
nonsense.
happen. There's nothing that would stop that. Like it just would
Yeah,
happen.
yeah.
It's just the vibe of this country. Underneath it all, we are destroying. There's destruction underneath of America, and it's the people within it. And it would happen. I don't know. It would be utter decimation, but you would have to be way more worried about what's about your, like if you're in Japan, it happens, you can go be a part of a community and grow. It probably would feel amazing to be part of that and like work through something as a people. And in America, I just know like you better get your gun because it's gonna happen.
I'm reminded of that oh, maybe you know the game. There was an ad for a video game. I don't remember what the game was, but the tagline was "Civilization is only skin deep," and I feel like that's the unfortunate part of the human condition, no matter where you are in the world. That we are, we're in a civilization. We agree on certain social norms wherever you are, but you wonder how deep does it really go, right? We are animals after all.
Well, I have to
and
say,
survival's at
in
stake.
Japan's favor, the Japanese, their very, very root core selves, they are the best, in my opinion, the best of what humans can be. And I know they were chopping each other heads off, and they would fight, and there was this whole.
Oh, there was. Yeah,
I know.
That's right.
But at their core, even the Bushido was a thing of respect. I think they are the best of what humans can be as far as the way they conduct themselves. They can be very violent when they go to war. They can be because they
Yes.
do kamikaze. Like they're all in on everything they do. That kamikaze that you think's the worst person in the world is dying because he believes he's defending the things he holds true and valuable. And he's willing to go like blow himself up with that. Like divine wind. That's what kamikaze is. They are
Wind,
undisputable
right,
in my book about just the way that a human can operate and be.
It's interesting too.
I am utterly stunned by them.
That almost is an example of a civilization only skin deep. Now, granted, like you said, people going all in on an idea, right? It's just like sometimes you can be seduced by the negative sides of things, right? Anybody can. And there's an example of, oh, well, it's okay to chop people's heads off or whatever. Maybe you're defending something and look, it is what it is, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's an example of where things can kind of turn. That said, the positive sides are just of the culture are just fascinating to me.
Yeah.
Like
I know the Japanese can be very firm and very direct and very much like it's they don't play. I think I think their repercussions are so known and so well, like they understand. They just understand how their culture works very well. And with that, it's getting a long one. I actually like talking about Japan. We've actually never got to talk about it, so.
Me too.
I think that is dope. So, anything else? We good?
It's the matane.
Matane. Izo.